Hi, and welcome to Omni Edition Garden City. I am Dan York, and with me now is Candace Westbrook and Joe Bandy from the Garden City Youth Athletic Association. We want to talk about all of the things that the GCYAA does, and since it's springtime, big thing to talk about, opening day, the season's beginning for baseball, t-ball, and softball, and the Kerwin Classic. First of all, welcome both of you to our program.
Thanks for having us.
All right, tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been in the GCYAA.
I've been president just starting in January, but I was secretary and treasurer prior to that. I've been involved since my oldest was young, but really heavy, about 10 years.
And you still have kids currently in the GCYAA?
No.
Well, that's a big deal then if you're
Yes.
hanging around after your kids are
Yes.
gone, huh?
Well, I have many kids if you count all the ones I picked up along the way.
And you are president of the GCYAA now, as you said.
Currently president.
And Joe, you've been around since the beginning of time. How long have you been in the
I
GCYAA?
wish I was that old. I've been around for about 10 years as well.
Okay.
Started off coaching with my kids and got involved with the program and keep giving back. I do a litany of different chores around there, if you will.
One of the things you want to talk about today is the Kerwin Classic when we get to that.
Yeah, we can talk on that.
Yeah. So let's talk generally about the GCYAA first of all. It's not just baseball, it's not just t-ball, it's not just softball, but you guys do a lot of different sports.
Yes, so we have baseball and softball, t-ball, hands-on t-ball for the little ones learning. We have basketball, we have rec ball and travel ball. This year is our first year doing a 5-6 travel basketball program, and then
Okay.
we have a high school boys travel program. We also do football and cheer.
So it's a
and I
year-round
think that's it.
thing.
Yes, we're year-round.
And you're
Year-round.
having to use fields wherever you can get
Wherever
them,
we can
and
get them.
basketball courts wherever
And
you can get
gyms,
them, and
yes,
gyms and
yes.
diamonds and
Yes.
everything else like that. How many people are the core of the GCYAA that are the boards and the folks that really run it?
There's about 7 of us that are pretty core on the board, and then ahead of like equipment managers, commissioners, and things like that. And we have a great group of volunteers, but we're always looking for more. But we probably have about 20 people who are in and out all the time, all year round with us. And then we have our ones who are just baseball, basketball, football.
Right, and you have to have obviously dozens of coaches for every sport. I mean, football, you've got 3 teams. You probably need 5 coaches per level for that because you've got, well, and you also have flag, right? So you have flag, JV.
We actually don't have flag anymore. We
Oh.
moved into a different division, so
That's right.
we actually start with junior freshman, which is full tackle.
Okay, so junior, freshman, JV, and varsity. So
Yes.
4 teams.
Yeah.
All of those need extensive coaching, and there's a lot of fields you have to have for that. I mean,
Yes.
football has got to be the most complicated one to run as an organization because you got to keep everybody safe. You got to have all the equipment, and the equipment must be just extraordinarily expensive to run football.
Yes, very expensive, but we just try to incorporate new stuff every year as we go. And this year, I think we're getting new helmets and new jerseys this year.
Okay.
So,
And that stuff has to be inspected, right? Because you can't just give the kids
right, yes.
equipment that isn't
No.
safe.
Every year we have to send all our helmets in to be reconditioned and brought to code. So,
And again, very expensive process.
yes, very expensive.
Yeah, football is definitely more defining for equipment than baseball, but equally as important with the headgear and baseball because you get balls thrown at helmets. And
Yeah, right.
got to make sure that that code law for concussion is followed.
And that's all
properly.
changed too, because it used to be just a helmet, then it became a helmet with ear flaps, and then it became a helmet with a thing across the front. And in a lot of the levels, they wear. Do they wear the cage in the GCY for some of the
Yes.
levels too?
Yeah.
All of them.
That is,
Yep.
it's not mandatory for the cage. It's definitely an option for the parents. It's
Right.
not pushed.
Right. But it's kind of
It's
commonplace.
encouraged.
Yeah.
It's kind of encouraged, especially for youth that are not experienced enough to know when to get out of the way.
And even for fast pitch softball, some of the fielders wear masks
yeah.
depending on the level and
Yeah.
depending on depending on where you're playing. Especially if you're playing first or third or pitcher.
Right.
That person
Yeah.
probably wants a mask on their face.
For sure.
Now, you guys do a lot of fundraising. You do charge a fee to participate, but you do a lot of fundraising because there's no way you could charge what it cost you to run all of these programs.
Right, so we do fundraise for each specific sport. We also fundraise for general fund to help us keep up with fields and, mower, the concession stand, all that good stuff. But we are still the cheapest youth organization around. Our football is hands down the lowest cost, and all our sports are comparable, if not less than most other organizations.
And even though you don't own your own fields or own your own basketball courts, for example, with baseball, you guys do a lot of the maintenance and the setup of those fields, even though the city owns them, right?
Yes. Yep.
And again, expensive and time-consuming, and involves a lot of people, I assume.
It involves a lot of people. We have about 4 core people who really do a lot of the field work at Moeller. So
I was just out there today.
yeah.
In good shape yet?
No, it's pretty dusty, but
It's still pretty early, right?
no, the DPS really does justice for baseball this time of year, and they were out. They aerated the fields last week. This week they aerated them again. Unfortunately, it unearthed some rocks that grow legs, and I went out and dragged them after they were done, and we're just asking for the army of the youth that come up to practice today to get some of them rocks off the infield.
As they practice.
And then we're good, yeah.
And I guess dry is better than wet this time of year. At least you can get on the field.
I think that we would say dry is fine, but I think the neighbors would dispute that.
As you're dragging the field,
Yeah,
kicking up all the
dust. The dust storm today was pretty good.
But I mean, there are years that you can't even get on the fields until the end of April.
Yeah,
so this, as far as that's concerned, this is a good year for that.
Right.
Yeah, at least to get ahead of the game a little bit. Let's talk about GCYAA opening day coming up. This is one of the biggest things that goes on in the community. It's probably one of your biggest events coming up the first Saturday in May. Talk about it.
Yep. So this year we have Kevin Kramus again. He's going to be our grand organizer and speaker. It's really good for the kids. They love it. We'll have Paws out there again this year.
Paws, yep.
And just a bunch of little activities, and the kids have their parade over to the big field, and the loudest team gets a pizza party, which they all love and keeps them excited and going. But and then we start with games right after that. But it's a great day, and usually we get city council out there and
Throw out a couple of first pitches.
And
really, it's a huge crowd. I mean, you get
Right.
all the kids from the hands-on T-ball up to a certain level.
Yep.
Because some of the travel teams in that haven't even been selected by the time you have
Right.
opening day, right? But it's a big turnout. You have lots of raffles and stuff.
Yep.
And like you said, the kids get to come out and scream their brains out for an hour and a half.
Exactly.
It's pretty amazing seeing how many people can pack into that park on one day. I mean, if you roughly compute 900 kids in the program and their parents and
And a couple of
grandparents,
parents and grandparents,
aunts, uncles,
and brothers
cousins.
and sisters, and everything else.
This
It's
year
really a
we
big
did
deal.
work with St. Thomas Apostle. They are offering that area where they park during the festival
Okay, that's
for
helpful.
our parents to park this year. So it's gonna be a huge difference in parking
Take a
this
lot
year.
of pressure off.
Right. Yes.
Okay, and that begins at 1 o'clock, correct?
Yes, and the pancake breakfast is prior to that.
And where is that?
That is at the old Henry Ruff.
Henry Ruff Elementary School.
Yep,
That's what
Henry
everybody
Ruff.
knows it as.
Yep.
Yep, so you should check it out and go
Okay.
there, and pancakes and sausage, orange juice.
And about what
coffee.
time does that one start?
I think the pancake breakfast starts at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, and it runs throughout.
Oh, okay, that's
Runs
great.
through the morning, and then everybody heads over.
And that's a fundraiser for you guys too, I assume?
It is.
And picture day for the kids. That's mainly what it was geared for, is picture day, and then they threw in pancakes and fundraiser.
Well, to get them to show up.
Right.
Yeah.
So before even opening day now, Joe, we've got the Kerwin Baseball Classic that's turned into this monster of a tournament at Moeller and at City Park. Talk about that.
It really has. 4 years ago it was started. Actually, we brought in travel. Travel had diminished in GCYAA for many years, and it was mine and a couple coaches, Brian Earl and at the time Jay Jackson, to bring in travel back. And Dave finally said, okay, let's give it a try. And then we had gone into other tournaments, and we realized this isn't fun. These are money makers. That's all they care about. Let's bring it back to GC. And the first year it was successful, albeit small. Second year got twice as big. Third year got twice as big. And this year we expanded to 54 teams.
Which is the max you can accommodate
That is
in
it.
that 3-day period with the fields you have available.
Unless we have other fields pop up somewhere, I can't
Yeah.
go anymore. That is max.
And what is the age span for this tournament?
9U, it'll be 9U, 10U, and 11U at Moeller, and 12, 13, and 14U at City Park.
Okay.
Just for instance, Saturday, 8 a.m., all fields kick off. They don't end till 11:30. And
Wow.
every field,
At the park.
at both.
Oh, that's right. You have lights at
Yeah,
Moeller.
every field will be in use except for, of course, 2 and 3 over
Yeah,
at
don't
Moeller.
have lights.
Right.
Okay.
But either way, it's a pretty busy day. And we got teams coming from Durand, Monroe, Berkeley, Howell, Brighton, just to name a few.
Yeah.
Over on the other side, it brings a lot of different cities into our city, and there is a lot of high regard and accolades that we're getting from other cities that visit, and they say, go to the Garden City Kerwin Classic. And of course, Kerwin, the name was developed after his passing and the blessing
Jim
from the
Kerwin.
family. Right, blessing from the family, and that's how this got its name. And
He was very much involved for the
very
GCYA
much,
for a very long
much.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
And because it's early in the season, there aren't very many tournaments this early in the
No.
year, right? Especially outdoor tournaments.
No,
There's some
right.
bubble tournaments and stuff like that, but not a lot of outdoor tournaments.
There's a few that are called Frosty Bat,
Yeah.
but they're further away, and we're one of the local programs that do run a tournament that's outdoors
Yeah.
this time of year. So it's
And you hope for the best. Last year was pretty awful the first couple of days.
yeah, last year. Let's not start doing the rain dance yet, Dan. We gotta stay
You'd
there.
be lucky if it was rain last year,
Right.
the first couple of days. By Sunday, it worked itself out, but it was pretty cold the first couple of days.
Yeah, AccuWeather has a good prediction this year, so
We're
we'll just leave it there.
projecting out,
Right?
huh?
Yeah, we're saying it's going to be good this year.
And again, that must be a massive undertaking to manage that tournament.
Yeah, to say the least, I've already got permission to take my camper to City Park, and I will be there all night Friday, all day Saturday and Sunday. I often take Friday off from work and Monday to recover. So I do have a lot of help this year. There's a lot of people have stepped up. I designated 2 per se directors additionally this year to help out. It's grooming the fields in between every game.
Yeah.
It's a big undertaking, but you know, I don't have kids in the program either, like Candace. But nothing brings me pleasure than to help out with this association, something I genuinely love to do. And this tournament will keep going as long as I'm around.
So you
I
got
won't give it up.
54 teams. Every team is coming with
Yes.
a minimum of 12 or 15 kids.
Right.
So that's a lot of bodies at Mulder Field and City Park for
Absolutely.
that 3-day period. Start at what time on the Friday?
Friday, the first games kick off at 5:45.
Okay.
Saturday morning would be 8 a.m. Saturday last games are 8 p.m., which go till 10
However
p.m.
long to go.
Sunday, 8 a.m. We have quarterfinals, semifinals early in the day, consolation games, and then championship games will be 3:30 p.m.
Beautiful.
across
Beautiful.
all diamonds.
All right, so why don't you come up and work that and take a look at that. Let's talk about, you have membership meetings every month, I assume, or darn near every
Yes,
month?
once a month.
Talk about that.
except for June, July, and August.
I assume you're trying to get people to become members of the GCYA, which doesn't necessarily mean that you're a coach. It doesn't mean you're on the executive board, but you want people that are members to support the GCYA and become part of that, become part of the organization.
Right, because I feel like if they become members and come to meetings, they kind of see what we're trying to do and grow and bring other, new families in, and, they might have something to offer and fresh ideas, which we're always looking for. The membership meetings, we have good time. We just go over, we're totally transparent so they can see all our financials, any concerns that they can have, they can bring up there.
And that's good because they can take that information back to the other parents of the teams that their
Yes.
kids are on, so
Yes.
that they know that that there's effort going on here and that things are being taken care of accordingly.
Exactly. So we encourage as much involvement from the community as we can get. So just like the Kerwin Classic, our goal is eventually maybe to, get more people, maybe go to businesses and offer discounts for people coming in to help them, bring in new people to their business, as well keep people in Garden City, spending their money here, eating at all our great establishments. So.
And baseball is such a short season because really by the time the parents start going on vacation when school gets out, that kind of is the end of the house leagues, and then it's just travel ball. But you guys will be into football fast, right? Because football has to start. They have to start early because you can't just throw them out of the field and tell them to
Exactly.
play.
Yeah.
So they're out there during the hottest time of the year going through those practices, and that must be quite a thing too to be able to make that quick changeover to football, and boom, there you go.
It is, but this year we've got a great group of coaches now, and the Vandewaters are, really putting a lot of time and energy into building our program. Football kind of fell by the wayside for a while because people were afraid of injury, but so they do some strength and conditioning that they offer to all kids in the community for free, whether they play GCYA or not, but some strength conditioning. And now that the weather's getting nice, they'll probably start moving outside and using City Park to, keep the kids in shape and build endurance. So
That's neat.
it is, it's awesome.
Well, in addition to football, we also run fall ball.
For baseball?
Which was brought in, about 4 years ago too. That's another program that I do run, and
Okay.
so football pretty much we're at their mercy, if you will. We work with them to go around their schedule.
Because there's only so many fields to go
Right,
around,
right.
and they need your outfields.
Right,
Yes.
but of course, football comes first because we want to make sure that they got their fields, and then
Right.
whatever we can do and maneuver around. But we wind up with 4 teams throughout 3 age divisions.
Well, that's nice.
4 or 5 teams.
And honestly, the weather can be a lot better for fall
Yeah.
ball than it is for spring ball.
And it's quicker because it's double headers on the weekend, so it's only 6 weeks as opposed to
Yeah.
12. But
It's
the
just
parents
starting to get cold by the time it ends.
right, parents have told me they thoroughly enjoy fall ball as
Yeah.
well. So that's for the kids that don't play football, and I wait until football's done with their registration before we fold into
So you don't
fall
steal
ball.
any of their
right,
kids, huh?
exactly. That's how we work in
Yeah.
this organization, and everybody is united, and we look out for each other's programs because we're one program.
And the cheerleading program, very big.
Oh, huge.
Yes, we have more cheerleaders than football players.
Do you
some
really?
years. Yes, yes. So they run a great program there for the cheerleading, and they attend competition, and they generally do pretty well. So we have some great coaches for that who are volunteers as well.
And the better your programs are, the better than the middle school and the high school programs are. And cheerleading is a great example of that, because there's, I don't know, 30 girls on varsity cheerleading now.
Yeah.
Before it used to be 8 or 9, and they do very well. They compete very well, and I'm sure a lot of that has to do with the fact that they came up through your system.
Yeah, I mean, we try to feed the high school and get them ready and, build that program as well as our own. So we work together a lot with them, and we're trying to improve on those relationships and build more, rapport and
Yeah.
work together a little bit more, maybe with the coaches getting together and holding coaches clinics and things
Okay.
like that. So yes, we're definitely trying to become much more community involved and work together more as a cohesive unit.
Yeah, and that's the only way it will work.
Right.
Exactly.
Your website, GCYAA.com, right?
That's it.
And it has all the email addresses of all the folks that are on the committees. It has information, has the dates for signups for the different leagues. You have your Facebook page, same thing. People want to know when to sign up or get questions answered. That's a great resource for folks to sign up for your Facebook page also, and just be able to know what's going on and when it's going on.
Yep, and it also includes meeting dates, so anybody who wants to come out and attend a meeting, you can always check there and see what the date is. Most of our meetings are held at the police station, and it's just an hour, and you can approach us before or after and ask questions and learn more, and if you want to help out, we'd be happy to have you.
And April
So
23rd at 7 p.m. is your next meeting
that is
coming
our
up.
next meeting, yes.
All right. So the Kerwin Classic coming up on April 26th, 27th, and 28th.
Yes.
After 5 o'clock on Friday, all day on Saturday and Sunday, and then GCYA opening day coming up the first Saturday in May, as it always is.
The next week.
That's at 1 o'clock at Moeller Field, and that's a great time for everybody.
Yes, and I'd just like to throw out there as well, thank you to Dan Plamondon, the city Parks and Rec. We're really starting to work together really well, and all the youth sports are getting together and having meetings and trying to figure out how we can help each other out, and it's been going great. So
Well, good.
I really think that the youth organizations are going to grow to be one of the best around.
Well, thanks to both of you for being here. Thanks to everybody that is on all of your boards and commissions. Thanks to those who bother to volunteer and coach, because without you, this wouldn't be possible.
Yes, without volunteers, we cannot keep the kids out of trouble. So volunteer, we need
and,
you.
And our wives and husbands. For that.
Yes.
That's probably most important on my end.
Well, again, thanks to both of you for being here, and good luck with everything that you do.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's
Thank you.
Omni Edition Garden City for this night. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.